Kamaron Leach here, and I'm sitting with the man whom you've probably seen his many quotes on your Instagram timeline. Known as the Heart Healer, Mr. Rob Hill, how are you doing?
I'm great, man.
Right. Now, I see you all the time, man. It seems like you're a great person to have, like, in a friend circle. What do you say about that?
I try to add value to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I feel like I've attained a little bit of success or even became significant. I try to contribute to whatever environment I'm in. So I like to think I'm a good friend.
That's good. Now, you're from Chesapeake, Virginia, right?
Yeah.
How was your upbringing? What was that like?
Well, we started out in Chesapeake. My mom was a single mother until I was about 12. And she got married, and from 12 to 17 or so, we moved around a lot. I lived in San Pedro, California. I lived in New Jersey. I lived in Baltimore, Germany, North Carolina. So we kind of bounced around. But it was a stable home. My mom was awesome.
So you've also reached Amazon's top bestsellers list.
Yes.
In the category of relationships, correct?
Yeah, I did relationships, interpersonal, communications. There's like 3 categories. I'm proud of that, though. Doing things independently to be featured #1 on those lists is a big thing to me.
Now, when did you get started writing?
I've been writing for the better part of 10 years. I started sharing consistently in 2008. It was a series called Thoughts for the Day, and I would put it out every day by 9 a.m. And that was basically how I honed my skill and found my voice and the type of tone that I wanted to write in.
Now, you have a major social media following. Now, what would you say is what garnered that relationship that you have with your followers and stuff like that?
I've always just aimed to be genuine. I wanted people to know that I believed in the stuff that I was putting out, and I wanted to convey that in a way that they could trust. And I think that that's probably the only way how the following has grown. 1, I did it consistently, and 2, I found a way to keep getting better, and I found a way to. I studied the responses, and I studied to see what people liked, what people gravitated towards, what people needed to learn. Just looking at myself and sharing those true lessons and, including a we or us or our, making sure that people knew that this is a thing that we're all going through. I think that, doing it from that approach kind of caught on for people.
And I think you said a very important word in there, and that was consistency. Now, can you speak on that and how we have so many temporary, famous people, or, they sometimes want to, they sometimes want to work hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got people who want to be known, and you got people who want to be needed. And I think the only people who ever reach true success are those who become needed. And by needed, I mean you become significant. You don't just aim to use people or go out. You want to become significant, and that goes back to me saying I added value to any atmosphere I'm in. And my motto since I started has always been consistent quality. Have something that's good and do it consistently. Find a way to consistently make it better. It's the only way you're going to make it. It's the only way you're going to reach the level you want to.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people wanted me to ask this question. What does Rob Hill Sr. do? I feel like you've heard that before.
Well, I think that one thing great people never just do one thing. But I think when people ask that, they want to know how I make money. I think that's probably the better question. I get paid pretty well to speak. And I do sell a lot of books. That is my 2 main sources of income. Then, of course, you get brand partnerships, you get sponsorships, you get that type of stuff. But my 2 main sources would be selling product and speaking.
Now, I think you noted what I wanted to talk about is you as a businessman. Now, do you have an agent, or how did that?
Well, the thing people don't understand, I'm big on ownership. I own every one of my books. I have produced every one of my books. I put them on Amazon. I made them available. I decided who would be my distributor, who wouldn't. So nobody makes more money off my product than I do, which allows me to be an owner, which allows me to be a full-on entrepreneur and not have to do something else on the side to, kind of supplement income. And I think that a lot of people, they aim to get a deal. And my thing was, if you give me a deal, then that means I need you. And I don't want to need you. You can offer me a partnership, and then we can work together. But that's the type of way I do business. And so it was no agent, it was no manager, it was no PR team. It was me doing basically all of that. Put myself in a position to win.
You mentioned partnership. Talk about your tour that's going on right now with Kenny Burns, and how did that come about as well?
Kenny's he's an awesome individual, and I was in a seed plant season to where I would save up some money and take a trip to either New York, LA, Atlanta, And those were networking cities, and he followed me, and he was aware of my work. So I just reached out. I was like, hey, I'm in Atlanta. My best friend Mike Scott, he plays for the Hawks down there. So I'm like, look, you want to go to the game? We can get some lunch, whatever. He agreed to that. We sat down, we started talking, and he was about to become an author. His first book was coming, and he wanted to get into the speaking circuit. And I'm somebody who gets anywhere from 10 to 15 speaking requests a month, so I'm like, I can help you with that. And then he was like, I got these partnerships and I can help you with that. And with the Living Life for a Living tour, essentially what we want to say is, live a life you don't need a vacation from. That's our pillar, and people always wonder what he does. They wonder what I do, but it's just one of those things to where we find a way, to be significant, to do what it is we love. I wake up happy. I get a chance I wake up on my own accord, and he does the same. And somewhere along the line, people stop believing their dreams are realistic, or people stop thinking that they can't do what it is they really want to do. And I could never subscribe to that. And I want to wake people up in a way that makes them like, nah, you can do that. I'm 26. Literally, I'm 26. And people don't understand
that's
that.
Really young.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you, like, you seem to be like a real hard hitter for what they actually call you. Now, what do you think every person, like, what characteristic do you think every person should have, they have to have for friends?
Well, you want compassion, you want understanding, you want trustworthiness, and you want confidence. I am a stickler for confident people. I don't want to be around insecure people. Because one, they'll project their insecurities on you, and anytime you try to make a step or try to do anything good, they'll make you seem like you're bad for it. So I want compassionate people because they're understanding. They open up your capacity for love and that type of thing. So you want people who are genuinely good people. So
last question, what I want to ask you is, who inspires Rob Bilstein?
Well, when I was coming up, I didn't have the mentors that I wanted to have, growing up, not in Virginia. They're just not there.
Yeah.
So what I did was start reading bios of people who were dead. So I read the biography of Tupac. I read Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy. I read Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You start researching, people who I've always wanted to be an influencer.
Yeah.
Now, if you're looking for living people, I take stuff from everywhere. I take stuff from President Obama. I take stuff from Jay-Z. I take stuff from Oprah. I take stuff from Forrest Whitaker, Denzel Washington, Magic Johnson. People who have been able to move. When some people, everybody knows them.
Yeah.
But if they wanted to get 20 people in this room right now, they couldn't. So I wanted people who are influential because that's what I aim to be.
I want to thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.